Okay, it looks like everyone's in. Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Kernan. I'm a district representative for State Senator Dave Min's office. The senator, along with Assemblywoman Petrie Norris, are happy to put on the Senior Scam Stopper seminar today. Unfortunately, both Senator Min and Assemblywoman Petrie Norris were called away to focus on the recent Orange County oil spill, so they can't be here today. But they both made video introductions for us this morning, and we have a great panel assembled to help everyone learn how to protect themselves. So first, let's hear from Assemblywoman Petrie Norris, and then we'll hear from Senator Dave Min to kick off the seminar.
Good afternoon. This is Assemblywoman Petrie Norris. I'm so pleased that you're able to join us for this afternoon's virtual Senior Scam Stopper. When I first learned that criminals steal $37 billion a year from America's seniors, and that 1 in 5 seniors have been victimized by a scam, I was shocked and horrified and determined to do whatever I could to bring resources and information to our community to help you avoid being the victim of a scam yourself. In my time in office, I've been able to host a number of Senior Scam Stopper workshops all across the district. And we've been able to provide helpful tips and resources and information to the entire community. But we know that new scams are developing each and every day. So it's so important to stay up to date and stay on the offense. We all know a good offense is the best defense. So I'm really pleased that we've been able to assemble a panel of experts today. They're going to walk you through some information about the latest scams, talk about some of the things that you need to be on the lookout for, and they'll answer your questions. And please, if you have been victimized by a scam, if there's anything that my office can do to help, we are here. Please do not hesitate to call my office. Our phone number is 949-251-0074. This is Assemblywoman Petrie Norris. I hope you enjoy today's event.
Thank you to the Assemblywoman and her staff for putting this on, putting that together in a very busy day. Now we'll watch a video that has been prepared by State Senator Dave Min.
Hi, I'm State Senator Dave Min, representing the 37th Senate District in the heart of Orange County. I'm sorry I can't be there with you live today, but unfortunately we're dealing with this oil spill off the coast of Huntington Beach, and I'm scheduled to be on site this afternoon. But I want to thank you for joining this important seminar about how we can protect ourselves from scams. This seminar is specifically about how to prevent scams against seniors. The FBI estimates that nationwide, seniors lose more than $3 billion annually to fraud. But you don't have to be a senior citizen to benefit from the advice you'll hear today. This issue is special to me because my family's personal information was leaked to the dark web when UC Irvine was the victim of a cybersecurity attack. Like other victims of that cyber attack and other cyber attacks, my family and I will have to live the rest of our lives with the threat of identity theft invading our privacy and financial stability. This experience really drove home the point for me that we're all vulnerable. That's why I created the Select Committee on Cybersecurity and Identity Theft Prevention to look for ways we can protect people from fraud. So while I'm working to find legislative ways to help, I'm also really excited to host this seminar with Assemblywoman Petrie Norris so that we can all learn best practices that we can use today to keep safe. If you have any questions you'd like answered, please type them in the chat and our panelists will get to them after their presentations. We're so lucky to have a great panel of experts with us today. First, we're going to hear from Kevin Durawa, who is with the Contractors State License Board. Next, we'll hear from Antonio Villaseñor from the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Finally, we'll hear from Sally Kim Westlake of the California Department of Insurance. All three have great information, so I'll let Kevin get started. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. And then now we're going to start with our presentations. We have a wonderful group of experts today. And so Kevin, if you'll kick us off.
Thank you. And thank you to the introductions from Assemblymember Petrie Norris and Senator Min. Today we're going to talk about senior scams and And really, the assembly member hit it right on the head. You know, with the best defense is a great offense, and we're here to prepare you so you know how to identify the scams and you can prevent yourself from being scammed. So I'm from the Contractors State License Board. We protect California consumers by regulating the state's construction industry through licensure. We license more than 290,000 contractors in 45 different classifications. That's up to 45 now. Unfortunately, unlicensed individuals do target seniors. Part of the reason why is that seniors are trusting, which makes them more vulnerable. Unlicensed individuals will try to manipulate seniors and establish connections with them and take advantage of them that way. Some of the biggest scams we see at Contractor State License Board is unlicensed individuals will ask for a large down payment. In California, there's a law for this. The down payment must be no more than 10% or $1,000, whatever's less. Some other common scams we see involve the door-to-door sales and pressure tactics. You might get a knock on the door from some landscapers who say they were in your neighborhood working on your neighbor's lawn and they have extra materials on the back of their truck and they can offer you a great deal today to redo your front lawn. They notice that you've got a lot of weeds and your lawn's dying. And then get you a great deal. You give them $200 right now. The problem is that you don't really know if these individuals are licensed. You don't know the quality of materials or the quality of work that they can do. And they may just take your money and run or leave you with a really ugly looking lawn and you out $200. So you really want to make sure you're avoiding even answering the door when these types of individuals come to your door. It's good to just say, no, thank you. Leave your information on the doorstep and I'll contact you later if I'm interested. Another common scam involves scare tactics. You might get an unlicensed individual at your door offering you a free home inspection. Suddenly you're letting a stranger in your house and he's noticing, you know, you have a crack on your wall. You have some water damage on your ceiling. Your faucet's leaking. And then all of a sudden you're on the hook for all these repairs that he says you need. And he's going to try to scare you into working with him to get those things resolved. So it's another thing to be aware of and watch out for. They're trying to play on your emotions. Other common scams with unlicensed individuals involve using only verbal agreements, which is never good when you're working with a contractor. A lot of times the prices of materials will change during the job, especially during the pandemic. We've seen the prices of things like lumber go up and down, but you still want to get everything in writing. This protects you, the consumer. If things happen, it's not your word versus their word. It's all in writing. Also, you never want to pay in cash. You always want to be paying contractors with a check and saving a copy of that check in a project file. That can be just any kind of folder where you keep your copy of your contract, a copy of your check, any photos of the work, information from the contractor, including their subcontractors and suppliers. So you have all the information ready to go in case there are problems down the line. So if you've been scammed, we encourage you to call us at CSLB for a complaint form, 1-800-321-CSLB or 2752. You can also go to our website, cslb.ca.gov, and click that File a Complaint button right there. Seniors and consumers have 4 years from the date of construction to file a complaint. So if there's a job that you got done, last summer that you're still, unhappy about, you still have time to file a complaint with us. Seniors should also know, seniors, when I say seniors, I mean people age 65 and older now have 5 days to cancel a contract. That's a brand new law that went into effect this year. You now have a 5-day right to cancel a contract. That's to help you with those kind of door-to-door solicitors that I mentioned earlier. And there's an example of the File a Complaint button right there on our website. So why should you use a licensed contractor? Well, licensed contractors have passed trade and law exams with CSLB and they've undergone background checks. They're also required to hold contractor bonds and have workers' compensation insurance for all employees. Workers' compensation insurance is really important for consumers, for consumer protection. It covers worker injuries while on the job. So if a contractor doesn't have workers' compensation insurance and one of their employees gets hurt while working on your home, you may be held liable for that worker's injuries. So it's really important to be checking to make sure that the contractor has workers' compensation insurance for his employees. You also get greater consumer protection when you use a licensed contractor with CSLB. We can step in and help with negotiation, mediation, and arbitration. These are all services that are free to consumers. It's also important to note that California law requires the use of licensed contractors for any home improvement job that costs $500 or more, which is pretty much a good majority of home improvement jobs. So if you're trying to find a licensed contractor, it's good to start with friends and family and ask them if they have any recommendations of contractors that they've worked with. And then once you get that information, check to make sure that they're licensed. You can also find contractors in your area by using, we have this great tool on our website. It's called the Find My Licensed Contractor tool. You can just simply type in your zip code and pick what kind of contractor you're looking for, and you'll get a list of contractors in your area that are licensed with CSLB. You can also get this information by calling our call center at 1-800-321-2752. And here's an example of the Find My Licensed Contractor tool. You just click on that. You'll get a window similar to this that opens up. You can type in your city, your zip code, and pick what kind of contractor you're looking for, whether it's concrete work, fence work, landscaping, trees, and you'll get a nice list that you can print out or download to start making your calls. And we're going to want you to be making a couple of calls because we want you to talk to at least 3 contractors and get at least 3 bids in writing before you start any kind of big home improvement job. You want to get a sense of what the market is for your jobs. You don't want to be going with a person that bids way too high. You also want to be checking for references from each of these contractors and try to call up these references or see the work with your own eyes. When you meet these contractors, make sure you're asking to see their pocket license. It'll be a laminated card like this, similar to the size of a credit card. And you want to compare this pocket license with a picture ID, something like a driver's license, just so you can confirm the identity of the contractor and confirm that they are in fact licensed with CSLB. And while you're getting these 3 bids, ask these contractors, ask if they're going to have employees. If they have employees, they need to have workers' compensation insurance, and you need to be making sure that they have workers' comp. You can type in their license number on our website, and the page on our website will tell you whether or not they have a licensed workers' compensation insurance. Never feel pressure to make a decision. Tell the contractor you're getting at least 3 bids. You don't need to sign any of these estimates. These are not contracts. Some other things to point out with contracts is that only the contractor who holds a license or a home improvement salesperson, HIS, can negotiate and sign a contract. Those are also regulated by CSLB, so you want to make sure that those individuals are licensed. Be careful about signing anything electronic. It can be edited after you sign it, so you want to make sure you're getting a written copy of the contract that's signed by you and the contractor before any kind of work begins. The contract should also include something called the progress payment schedule. That's so, the cash stays in par with the work. You never want to let the work get ahead of the money get ahead of the cash. The money get ahead of the work, excuse me. Money is your leverage, so you want to make sure the contractor is getting paid half of the money when half of the job is completed. The contractor should also include subcontractors and material suppliers, so you can make sure that they've been paid. The contract should also include start and finish dates and change orders. So that's if something changes, like say the price of materials, which I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that that is noted on the contract, and both you and the contractor are signing those changes on the written contract. We come across also a lot of problems involving solar at CSLB. We have a solar task force and a solar smart page on our website. You can get more information. And we have a new solar complaint forum to improve the response to solar complaints. Some things you want to be asking yourself, is solar right for you? It depends on the length of time you're going to be in your home and the direction of your roof. You also want to do the math with solar. Find out how much the solar system is going to cost on the roof of your home, and look at your monthly statements. When will you finally break even with this solar system? That's when you're going to find out when you're going to actually start saving money. Something to keep in mind is that solar is not free. You want to be aware of financing programs like PACE, HERO, Chief, or REAL loans. They can have high interest rates, and they can also be tied to your property taxes. Make sure you're protecting yourself. Make sure you have control over payments and get everything in writing. You never want to be signing over payments to a contractor. When you're going to be working on a solar system, you're going to be getting something called the financing estimate and disclosure document. That should really spell out for you, the consumer, how much the solar system is going to cost on the roof of your home. And you want to make sure you're also reading the contract carefully. before signing anything. Again, hire licensed contractors through the Find My Licensed Contractor tool on our website, that button I talked about earlier. Also check the license using an instant license check on our website or by calling 1-800-321-CSLB-2752. That instant license check is also excellent for checking to make sure that the contractor has workers' compensation insurance. Please remember the down payment on any project must be no more than 10% or $1,000, whatever is less, and don't let the payments get ahead of the work. You can always contact us, CSLB, 1-800-321-CSLB-2752. You can also email us at social@cslb.ca.gov. And again, if you've got any questions, feel free to just type them in the chat. We can go over questions at the end. And I believe I'm passing it back to Matt. Thank you so much for your time today, guys.
That's correct. Thank you, Kevin. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, we will do a question and answer at the end of the presentation. So just type it in the chat and then we will get them queued. And we've had a couple of questions that have already come in. So next, we are going to hear from Antonia Villaseñor, and she's with the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. So I'm going to kick it off to you, Antonia. Oh, and you're muted, so you're not coming in, but we can see the slides perfectly.
Okay, it's better if I'm unmuted.
There we go.
Okay, that works better. Thanks so much. I will, in advance, I might need to ask for forgiveness if my dog, who's still recovering from last night's storm, gets up barking. She barks at delivery trucks. So first I want to thank the Assembly member, the Senator and their staff, and the Contractor State License Board for the opportunity to be with you today. I'm with the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Today I'll be introducing the department, talking about scam prevention. I'll give information about our brains when we're making financial decisions and how scammers use stress and emotions to their benefit. Then I'll provide information about tools and resources, ways to protect ourselves. And today I need to leave at 10 till, so I will ask you if you would put your questions in the chat, and if they could be emailed to me, and I'll be happy to answer them. I'll also, during this presentation, offer you our contact information, and you are more than welcome to email them. Thank you. So the department's authority comes from state legislators who pass laws regulating financial services and give the DFPI authority to carry out the laws. We have teams of examiners for the different kinds of licensees. We have attorneys and investigators who work in-house and are sometimes loaned to other enforcement agencies to help with cases where we have shared jurisdiction. I'm with Education and Outreach, and we help Californians statewide to help avoid financial fraud and make informed financial education. So if you know anybody else who needs these presentations, please just let us know. These are the different kinds of financial services that the department regulates: state banks and credit unions, California finance lenders, residential mortgage originators, lenders, and servicers, payday lenders, investment advisors, securities brokers and dealers, money transmitters, and issuers of payment instruments and traveler's checks. And I want to add, in case anyone doesn't know, money transmitters used to just mean folks like Western Union. But now that is expanded to the ubiquitous service people that we often pay or transfer money on our phone. If you think of Apple Pay, which is ubiquitous, and Amazon has a new service. So we also regulate those because, remember, that is also engaged in transferring money. So we also, as Kevin mentioned earlier, we regulate PACE Solar Financing, the financing servicers end of that. So Kevin's department would handle the complaints against contractors, and the financiers' complaints would come to us. With the new law, AB 1864, which is the California Consumer Financial Protection Law, our responsibilities and activities have expanded. Now, we regulate credit repair agencies and consumer credit reporting companies, debt collectors, and I want to add that this is new. Before this, debt collectors were not regulated. Debt relief providers, rent-to-own contracts, and that includes those, you may have seen commercials where people offer rent-to-own furniture or real estate. So those are covered under this law. And private for-profit school funding models. We have lots of resources for consumers about a variety of topics online and in print. We will be happy to mail you our printed materials for free. This is a copy of Protect Yourself from Fraud. On the left is our general one, which is our most popular material, and a lot of what I'm going to say here will be found in this material. And you can find this on our website and scroll through it there, or you can have it mailed to you. So I'm going to talk about common financial fraud scams a little bit. I want you to know that these are the common ones that we see in investment fraud. The most common one we see is affinity fraud, which is often a Ponzi scheme, bait and switch, credit, debit, internet, lottery letters, identity theft, door-to-door imposters, phone scams, and COVID scams. So today's question is, do you go shopping when you're hungry? And what happens when you do? So this is an image I downloaded from an article about our brains on stress. When we are stressed, it is not the best time to make financial decisions. This is an article from an article about brains that show how our logic goes offline when we are stressed. So this is the calm state where our prefrontal cortex is sending calm messages, of logic throughout the brain and decision-making, executive function. And here's an image of it when it's stressed. And you can see here the prefrontal cortex is offline. Scammers deliberately push us into emotional states, knowing that they can profit when our logical thinking goes offline. Stress actually changes our brain chemistry. When we are emotional, be it unpleasantly or pleasurable, our brains will focus there rather than decision-making. Scammers will rush, pressure, try to convince us we should not lose out on a great offer, that we've won a great prize. They may threaten us with arrest if we don't pay a bill, a service or account may be interrupted. Basically, something bad will happen unless we do or give them what they want. Or they may convince us that we're in love, or who doesn't want a free iPad or a $1,000 phone for $25? The research tells us the best thing we can do is pause, wait 24 hours, sleep on it, let the stress chemicals in our brain rinse out, talk to someone else who we can trust, sound it out. Remember, there isn't a legitimate financial decision that can't wait 24 hours. This is an image of affinity fraud that we saw recently in our department in a desert community where somebody offered to sell a group of people great property in that desert community. We see affinity fraud, investment scams among groups. So if you're in a group, if it's a religious, bingo, whatever community group, professional group. We've seen it among elite military groups. We've also seen it in an elite SWAT team with a police force. If somebody starts offering a unique but vague investment, or they want secrecy, or it feels like a Ponzi scheme, be very careful. I want to talk about common COVID scams because it's a timely subject. People have taken a lot of their usual scamming techniques and brought it over to COVID. And I did work for 10 months as a reassigned COVID investigator, so I learned a lot about how legitimate COVID investigators and tracers work. Real ones will never ask for money, financial information, or social security number, or immigration status. They work for a local health department, and they contact COVID-positive people to track symptoms. They work to reach people, and contact tracers then work to reach people who've been in contact with a COVID-positive person. It's a confidential, simple way that has been used for decades by health departments to slow the spread of infectious diseases. The call will show as your local public health department. And when I was working in it, the place we got the information from was the information people submitted when they took a COVID test. So that's where we get the information. The public health worker will ask about the places you've been and the people you've been around while you're infectious, your symptoms and health information. You may receive information by U.S. mail or text. They will give information about the next steps based on your answers. So one area is to give you legitimate resources. Any questions, call your local 211. If you don't know about it, it's a great resource. It's a directory that's prepaid, and you can just call them with all kinds of questions about COVID and not COVID related. If you know anybody who's not insured or has Medi-Cal or regular doctor, this is a great number for them to call. And sadly, people might need FEMA funeral assistance. Also, this is another place for scammers, sadly. This is a legitimate phone number, and it's the only way to apply. If somebody asks for money so they can help you apply, that's a scam. If you know somebody who's having trouble trying to prevent an eviction, be it for rent or for mortgage reasons, they can call a housing counselor, or you can also call your assembly office. On the internet, people are spending more time than before online. It's important to know how to protect yourself. Limit your personal information. It's not a good idea to say, hey, I'm away for 2 weeks in this great faraway place. If you're going to shop online, make sure you have a secure network. You look for a lock and the HTTPS:// You'll see two-step verification that's legitimate, where you type in your username, your password, and then you'll get a text of a code that they want you to enter. That's considered safer these days. Be careful with your passwords and be deliberate about what they are. Keep them handy somewhere and make sure they're a little bit complicated so nobody can just guess. 123 password is not a good password. In terms of phishing online, I want you to see an example of a letter, an email. You'll see here that the blocks are pointed out. Here, if you scroll over the address, if you put your cursor over the address, it doesn't say Bank of America. It's not addressed to a person in particular. There's the grammar is wrong in that it says dear member should be capitalized. And here, view your account activity, this should be a period. So things like that are a dead giveaway. And again, what emotion? A little bit of fear. We detected unusual activity. Please verify so you can continue making, your transactions without interruption. That's a fear alert, red light. And then when you scroll over their link, it has a different and unrelated to Bank of America. So these are the kinds of things to look out for. Also, if you don't have an account, that's a dead giveaway. I get some of those. On the phone, never give your personal information out over the phone. People may say they're from Medicare. They may say your computer's, something's wrong with your computer. If there's something wrong with your computer, the best thing to do is take it to a shop rather than send them hundreds of dollars for freeware that you already have access to at no cost. The IRS has your Social Security number. They don't need you to confirm it. Same with Social Security. And I talked a little about health department or a drug company. You can go online or get in our booklet, Protect Yourself from Fraud, this great form that we developed about check before you invest. In it, you can see that you can ask somebody who's giving you different financial services, who are you and what are you trying to sell me? And on the next page, you can look up, very handy, these different government agencies with their toll-free numbers and their websites. And you can call them or you can go online and you can verify those licenses. And should something happen in the future, you have the information handy. Remember, trust your instincts, check the license before you sign a contract or anything else. You're entitled to a free credit report every 12 months from the 3 credit bureaus. Avoid financial decisions when someone is rushing you or pressuring you, when you're tired, hungry, emotional. Pause, sleep on it, wait 24 hours. And please file a complaint. If a licensee is breaking the law, we need to know. This is our social media. And this is our contact information. The best way to file a complaint at this point is online. But if you need information and you have questions about your issue before you file a complaint, call us at this number or email us. And all the information I talked about is available at this website. So I will stop sharing and thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Antonia. That's a lot of great information for our constituents. And next, we will have Sally Kim Westlake from the California Department of Insurance. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, and you can see my screen. Well, thank you, Senator Min and Assembly Member, for the opportunity to be here today. And thank you, seniors, for being here and sharing your day with us. I'll start with a brief overview of the Department of Insurance, common insurance scams, how you can protect yourself, and close with resources available to you from the department. So the California Department of Insurance, also known as CDI, is a state agency, and we regulate the insurance marketplace. We regulate all lines of insurance, homeowners, auto, life, health, just to name a few. We also regulate the insurance companies, agents, and brokers that sell insurance. We have over 1,400 dedicated employees to oversee more than 1,400 insurance companies and license more than 425,000 agents and brokers. We enforce the insurance laws of California and have authority over how insurers and licensees conduct business. All of our CDI functions, including overseeing insurer solvency, licensing agents and brokers, conducting market conduct reviews, resolving consumer complaints, and investigating and prosecuting insurance fraud, are to protect consumers. California has the largest insurance market in the United States and the 4th largest in the world. California insurance companies collect $340 billion in premiums every year. That's what you and I pay in insurance every year. So as a consumer, if you ever have a problem with your insurance company, agent, or broker, call us for help. Prop 103 allows Californians to elect their own insurance commissioner. Commissioner Ricardo Lara took office in 2019, and he started off running and hasn't looked back. Now, here's just a small list of the actions taken by Commissioner Lara in 2020 to protect Californians. We hosted over 66 virtual town halls and reached over 25,000 consumers. When the pandemic started and we were on a stay-at-home order, Commissioner Lara quickly realized that Californians aren't driving as much. So he ordered insurance companies to issue partial premium refunds on their auto policies. The result? Financial relief for many of us. This order has returned $1.75 billion to Californians, the most in the nation. And through our investigation of consumer complaints to our hotline and insurance company practices, we have obtained over $254 million for consumers in 2020. So reports indicate that seniors are the largest population targeted for scams. So why are seniors big targets? Because seniors have bank accounts, savings, you've accumulated wealth. You might have money accumulated in your homes, life insurance, retirement savings, and sometimes might not have a loved one close by looking out for them. And someone wants to steal a piece of your hard-earned savings. Lastly, most seniors are just too nice, not like the younger generation. You have time and want to talk with people, even with strangers. Good news is that there's a lot of protection programs for seniors because large number of baby boomers equals large voting power. One of the most popular scams involving insurance is an annuity. Why? Californians spend an average of $20 billion on annuities. That's a lot of money to be made by scam agents. An annuity is a contract between you and the insurance company. You buy it by making one or more premium payments, and they make income payments to you for a fixed period of time in the future. It's often used as an investment vehicle for retirement income. It's sold by licensed insurance agents, usually with a financial background. Growth in annuities also are tax deferred, so it could be another benefit. Now, annuities are great for some, but lousy for others. Why? Usually because of the 7+ year surrender charge. There's a big penalty for you to take your money out if you need it, maybe in case of an emergency. But agents love to sell it because of the big upfront commission. Then starts the twisting and churning. This is when the agent gets you into one annuity and then maybe 12 months, 18 months later calls up and says he's found a better annuity for you and you need to switch now. Well, what that means to you is that you may be hit with a big penalty for early withdrawal, but it's more upfront, big commission for the agent, and you might even have a tax implication on top of it for withdrawing your money. But if you have a financial advisor whom you've been working with for years, they know your financial goals, your financial picture, risk tolerance, and suggest adding an annuity to your portfolio and explains the type of annuity, pros and cons, then it might make sense and the annuity can be the right investment for you. But do not make the decision to buy an annuity in haste. Sleep on it. Think it over. Just like Antonia said, give it time. Think it over with a family member, someone you trust. If the annuity is a good deal today, it'll still be a good deal tomorrow. Let's look at some other common insurance scams, including premium theft, auto staged accidents, and now COVID-19 related insurance scams. So premium theft occurs when you buy an insurance policy from an agent or broker, and they never actually buy, place, or bind the policy with the insurance company. And now you're thinking to yourself, well, how can that happen? You have a receipt, you have a copy of the policy, you get your statements. Well, some scam agents, whether they're currently licensed or not, will go to great lengths to steal your money. So let me share with you our latest arrest of an agent from San Clemente. So Robert Stoddard was arrested after investigation found he allegedly stole over $1.2 million from more than 20 victims, including 14 seniors. He's currently being charged with 51 felony counts of grand theft, elder abuse, money laundering, securities violation, and aggravated white-collar crime enhancements. So this insurance agent allegedly violated his victims' trust and placed them in financial risk for his own gain. For 6 years, he conducted investment and retirement-related seminars and targeted senior citizens and used various schemes to fraudulently gain the victim's trust, cultivate friendships in order to steal money from them. he led victims to believe he obtained bonuses from insurance companies that he could apply to their existing life insurance policies and their annuity contracts if they paid their premiums directly to him. So rather than to the insurance company. He then failed to place the annuity and life insurance policies and also induced his victims into a fraudulent real estate investment scheme. He forged insurance statements, emails, and letters, which led victims to believe the information he relayed to them was true. So he would even occasionally pay a few investment returns to victims, but those were later halted, of course. Thank goodness he's been taken into custody, and we hope the victims will be able to get some of their money back. Still happening is staged auto accident fraud. If you get into an accident and something just doesn't feel right, call the police and report it to your insurance company right away. I'm talking about that gut feeling you get. You're driving down the same street you're familiar with that you always drive on, and it's usually not that busy, but all of a sudden, the car in front of you stops short. There's a car next to you, so you couldn't move and switch lanes, and then the car behind you rear-ends you. You pull over, and the car that was next to you is gone, but the car you rear-ended pulls over, and the driver gets out holding his neck. The front passenger is holding his lower back. Then 2, 3, 4 more passengers all exit this small sedan. Something doesn't feel right. 2 different fraud potentially could be occurring here. The driver then says he's going to do you a favor by not reporting this to your insurance company and how we can settle this. And he'll even follow you to the bank to get the cash. Red alert, fraud, right? Or the passengers all claim bodily injury for a minor fender bender and file claims against your insurance company. Now you're thinking, well, that doesn't hurt me. The insurance company is paying, but your insurance rates will go up because of the bodily injury claim. So this is just one example of a staged auto accident. There's several different versions of it. But again, if your gut tells you something isn't right, take a deep breath, don't feel rushed, and make any decisions at the accident site. Do not admit fault. Do not tell anyone about your insurance policy, the coverage limits. You do have to exchange your insurance carrier information, but nothing more. Call the police, call your insurance company, report it. So we're also hearing about a new scam related to COVID-19 and health insurance. It's when someone from your family member's insurance company calls, or they claim to be from them, letting you know that Susan is in the hospital and needs a respirator. But Susan, being sick, forgot to pay her insurance premium. So she needs your help to make the late payment so Susan can get her respirator. Wrong. Insurance companies don't call family members to take payments over the phone. They will send you a letter in writing if you missed a payment. These scammers are trying to get your personal information. Again, trust your instincts. If something doesn't sound right, get their contact info. Talk it over with a friend, with your family members, and then you can always call them back. It doesn't have to be done right away. You do not have to give them your credit card number over the phone. It can wait. So let's look at some of the insurance scam warning signs. Now, all of that adage, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It's true. The agent offers free seminars in sites like assisted living centers, retirement communities, or places of worship, nice restaurants for a free meal. The agent offers to create or update a living trust in order to see your financial information. They're trying to find new clients that can potentially be worth a lot more money to them than that free living trust they're offering. They want your financial information, and it is up to you to guard it. Remember, there is no senior retirement living trust specialist. This is their own designation. And this is exactly how agent started from San Clemente. He was able to steal $1.2 million from his clients. So if you want to go to the free meal, if you want that free seminar, go, have fun, take all the information, leave by saying no, take their information, and you will return their call. You will get back to them if this is the information or the product or service that you need. Do not make the decision at the place that you're at the free meal. Okay? So So seniors also have more rights when it comes to insurance, and it's called Seniors Insurance Bill of Rights, or SIBOR. And the full list can be found on our website. And one senior right is that you may review an insurance policy of life, annuity, long-term care, or Medicare supplement for 30 days after you receive the policy in order to decide whether you want to keep the policy. If you decide you do not want the policy, you can return it for a full refund. Now you're ready. So what can you do to avoid becoming a victim of insurance fraud? Step one is to check the status of the insurance company and agent on their website and make sure they're in good standing. You should always answer all your questions thoroughly and truthfully. False statements or omissions can cancel the policy. Don't leave any blank spaces on an application. Dishonest agents can fill in the blanks without your approval. Get everything in writing and compare policies. Don't pay with cash, just like Kevin said earlier. Make checks payable to the insurance company or agency business name and not in the agent's name. Don't buy coverage you can't afford and only the coverage that you need. Avoid being over or underinsured. Ask questions. What does the policy cover? What does it not cover? What's excluded? What's the cost and how often do you have to make the premium payments? If I cancel the policy, are there any surrender charges? Is the policy suitable for me and my situation or plans? Never feel pressured or intimidated. Consider having a trusted person with you. Agents know that they should never use high-pressure sales tactics and never sign anything you don't understand. So what are you first going to do? What can you do to protect yourself? Don't engage. Don't be polite. Be stingy with your personal information. Change your passwords. Hang up the phone. Stop being so nice. Okay? And report fraud. Now, everyone knows you shouldn't be answering a call that says that it's from a robocall, from a phone number that you don't recognize. It's okay not to answer the phone. If it's a family member or a friend, they will leave you a message and you can always return the call. Okay? But again, if you happen to pick up that phone and it happens to be a sales call, unsolicited sales call, don't engage. Don't be polite. Do not give them the opportunity to keep on talking to you, because the longer you talk to them, the harder it is going to be for you to get off that phone. You need to say, thank you, I'm done, goodbye, and hang up. That's it. So if you suspect fraud or a victim of fraud, please call someone and report it. Here is a small list of agencies that can assist you. Call one, talk to somebody, and see if you've been a victim of fraud. And here are some resources available just for seniors from the department. Senior Gateway is a site on our website. It's a one-stop website intended to provide seniors, their families, and caregivers with the information they need to connect to helpful services and resources to find answers and solve problems. And this includes information on topics such as avoiding and reporting abuse and neglect, preventing fraud, financial abuse and common scams, healthcare information, and your rights. So please visit our website at seniors.insurance@ca.gov. And we also have informational guides specifically for seniors, just like Antonia does, her agency does. So we have printed brochures that's available that we can mail to you for free, or you can read and access them on our website. First one, we have something called Annuities, What Seniors Need to Know, Driving for Seniors, and Insurance Bill of Rights. That's the SIBOR information that I talked about earlier. The guides are free and again, also available on our website. So if you have any questions about your current insurance policy, new policy, or you've been denied coverage, claim, or canceled, want to report fraud, please call our consumer hotline at 1-800-927-4357 or visit us on our website at insurance.ca.gov. So thank you so much for your time today. And I hope that you leave today remembering knowledge is power and you are ready to take action to protect yourself. Thank you so much. Back to you, Matt.
Thank you, Sally. And so we will get everyone's presentations today and make sure that's available on our website. In our chat, I've put in how to contact our offices. If any constituent needs to get in touch with a state agency, we can help with that. So feel free to reach out to State Senator Min's office or Assemblywoman Petrie Norris's office. Both offices are here to help, and we try to do a good job for our constituents. So we have a couple of questions that have come in, and if anyone has additional questions, feel free to put that in the chat, and we'll try to address it. Kevin, we had a question that came in earlier that I think is probably down your alley, and it had to do with if there are standard contracts that people should be looking at. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, all contracts, they should include, a good detailed contract includes all the basics, right? It includes when the work is going to start, when the work should be completed, how much the work will cost, how the work will be completed. A good contract is as specific as possible. So if you want a certain kind of marble countertop, that should be listed in the contract. That specific material should be listed in the contract. If you want steel posts for your fencing, your backyard fencing, that should be listed in the contract along with the prices. The prices of all those specific materials should be listed in detail on the contract. The contract should also have the contractor's license number somewhere on the contract. If you're not seeing a license number on the contract, that's another red flag to the consumer. Hey, maybe this contractor isn't licensed. The contract should also include things like any subcontractors that the contractor may be using to work on the project. And those subcontractors should be licensed as well. Also, if there's any material suppliers, they should also be listed on the contract as well. There's a lot more on contracts. We have consumer guides for contracts on our website, cslb.ca.gov. If you just type in the search bar contracts, we have a wonderful brochure that consumers can look at for more information on contracts.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And then a couple of these are probably, Antonia had to step off. Some of these are about robocalls, which I'm sure she's the expert on, but I imagine you guys have seen the presentations too. You could probably help people out. We have someone who written in and asked, what should I do to stop robocalls? And I definitely want to know the answer to this too, because this happens to me also.
I mean, I can answer part of that question is that you want to be on the do not call list, right? That's offered through the Federal Trade Commission. So you want to look that up and make sure that you are on that do not call list. And then also our cell phones. Also now, it'll say spam risk, right? So I don't answer those. I delete those. And then I also block those numbers. Okay. So there's just some small ways that you can do. But again, there's a lot of money people spend to send those robocalls out there. So you have to protect yourself, basically. So as much as you try to stop them, the best defense is for you to know and not to answer it. Again, seniors, you do not have to be polite. Do not answer a call from somebody you don't know and be baited and then start engaging. Again, if it's somebody that needs to talk to you, they will leave you a message and you can always call them back.
Gotcha. That's great advice. And I guess, too, this is not about preventing all spam calls, more about limiting it as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And then, Kevin, our next question, actually, maybe both of you could answer, is what does the state of California do to stop scammers? So, Kevin, specifically at the Contractors State Licensing Boards, what are you doing to stop people who are scam contractors?
Well, we do have a statewide enforcement unit. They do undercover stings statewide, where they try to find unlicensed individuals who are advertising their services without a license number. So we'll call them out to a undisclosed sting location, and they'll get some bids, and they can face citations for unlicensed contractors that way. Another thing we do is we work a lot with consumers. We encourage them to report unlicensed activity. If you're noticing unlicensed activity in your neighborhood, in your community, it's really easy to report that now on our website. You can simply just go to our homepage and you click a button and you can easily fill out an online form and submit that to us. We're always on the hunt. Your eyes and ears are a big part of what we rely on at Contractor State License Board to catch unlicensed activity.
Thanks. And then we have a question that just came in. Can only licensed contractors sign contracts?
Yeah, the contract should only be put together by the licensed contractor or the home improvement salesperson, which I mentioned in my presentation, the HIS. And that HIS is also supposed to be registered with CSLB. So you may run into a situation, a service and repair situation. So say your refrigerator broke. So you call someone out, and that's a service and repair job. That's an example of when the down payment rules don't apply, because you have to pay $1,000 to fix your fridge. You can't say, oh, well, it's only 10%, or, I'm only going to put down 10% of this job. No, it's service and repair is you call them out to repair something for you, so you have to pay them the whole thing. What if you want a new fridge from this company? Well, then that repairman, he shouldn't be negotiating a contract with you if he's not licensed and he doesn't have a home improvement salesperson license. He may say, well, I need to have another person come out to help you with that. And they may call out the home improvement salesperson or someone who is licensed to negotiate a new refrigerator with you. So that's an example kind of the whole contracting thing and who's licensed what licensees can do and not do.
Gotcha. And this is a complicated area, I'm sure. And so the license would be actually held by the person doing the work, correct? So not necessarily the company, or how does that work?
Well, we don't license necessarily individuals. We license entities, which can be groups of people. There's partnerships. There's different versions of that. If the person who's doing the work is not licensed, they're working for someone else who is licensed, then they are considered an employee. So then whoever the license holder is should have workers' compensation insurance.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Sally, not to put you too much on the spot, but if someone gets a call or a text message from the IRS or the Franchise Tax Board here in California, how can they tell if it's real?
From personal experience, the IRS and the Franchise Tax Board is not texting you. Okay, it isn't them. They will actually send you a letter in writing. And also, but if you've signed up to Social Security's website with your email, they may send you some notification that way, but they're not texting you, and especially with the link, okay, that says click on this to do this, to verify this. That's totally a scam. But I also heard that DMV also had some issues, and they reported that yes, in certain cases, the DMV is texting you if you gave them your phone number and they have it. And let's say you schedule an appointment and you requested a follow-up and said, confirm my appointment. Then I know DMV will text you to your response, to your request. But as far as the IRS, Social Security, Franchise Tax Board, they are not texting you, and especially with that says, click here on this link.
Great advice. And in our office, too, we regularly help constituents with interactions with the Franchise Tax Board or even the DMV. So if you are concerned about that, you can reach out to us and then we can try to verify that for you. We have one last question, and this is just sort of a general, why are there so many scams targeting seniors? That does seem to be, and I know this kind of got addressed in the presentations, but what's the sort of like one sentence answer for that?
There's a lot of seniors and there's accumulated wealth. Simple. And seniors, and you know, I read lots of reports, okay? And I know I'm taking a long answer, but I read lots of reports that while seniors are the biggest target of scams, that actually the younger generation have actually lost more money to scams than actually seniors. But then, so everyone is being targeted. But seniors, because there is a large number of you, and you've accumulated wealth, you have more money, there's just sort of more people going after it. So you have to do everything you can to protect yourself.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I want to thank Kevin. I want to thank Antonia and Sally for providing us some great information today. We'll put the presentation slides on our website so folks can follow up and learn more there if they'd like. If anyone feels like they're a victim of fraud, there are several organizations that can help, including places where our presenters work. Feel free to reach out to our district office, to the Assembly Members District Office, and we can get you connected to the right place as well. So thank you, everyone, for spending their early afternoons with us today, and stay safe out there. Thank you, everybody.